the producer, and the voiceover of the video have never been revealed. It was creepy and eerie in 2009. It's still creepy and eerie in 2016, especially in light of the story that broke today that Barack Hussein Obama wants to rule the world from the United Nations. Here is the audio that was mysteriously produced and loaded onto YouTube shortly after Barack Obama entered the White House in 2009. Sit down and listen to it carefully and think about Barack Obama running the United Nations.
Did Jesus really reveal the name of the Antichrist? I report, you decide. This is an updated and more accurate and understandable version of my previous upload on this same topic. In Luke chapter 10, verse 18, we read these words of Jesus. And he said unto them, I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven. These words are written in Greek and translated to English. However, Jesus probably spoke these words in Aramaic. Aramaic is a part of the Northwest Semitic group of languages, which also includes Hebrew. Aramaic script was widely adopted for other languages and is ancestral to the Arabic and Hebrew alphabets. Two words in this text are of particular interest. The words are lightning and heaven. Jesus said, I saw Satan falling as lightning from heaven. In Greek, the word for lightning is astrape. It has a direct Hebrew equivalent. From Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, words 1299 and 1300 from the Hebrew language, the word for lightning is barak. In the Greek text of Luke chapter 10, the word translated as heaven in Greek is uranos. It can mean the heaven of God, but it also carries with it the connotation of the heights, or a high place, or the domain of Satan himself. Evidence of this is found in the same book of Luke, in chapter 8, verse 5, when Jesus speaks of the gospel being attacked demonically. He uses these words, and the birds of the air devoured it. Here, the most accepted context by biblical scholars is that the birds are the demonic realm, and the air is the realm of Satan, from on high, or the heights. The Greek word used here for air is uranos, evidence that this Greek word is not always used in the sense of the heaven of God, but it can be used for the heights or the high places or the domain of Satan himself. In Luke chapter 10, verse 18, this is the exact context of Jesus' words. I saw Satan falling like lightning from the heights or the high places, or from Satan's domain on high, or from the heavens or heaven. If Jesus' word, translated in the English text as heaven, was referring to the heaven of God, the Hebrew word would be shamayim. More than likely, though, according to the context of Luke 10 and Luke 8, Jesus was not referring to the shamayim of God, but rather the domain of Satan. Now consider this amazing fact. The book of Isaiah is the source of origin for the Christian concept of Satan or Lucifer. In Isaiah chapter 14, verses 12 through 19 especially. In Isaiah chapter 14, verse 14, we hear these words spoken by Satan himself. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. This matches the exact context of Jesus' words in Luke chapter 10. In the verses of Isaiah that refer directly to Lucifer, several times it is mentioned that Satan has fallen from the heights or from the heavens. The Hebrew word used in this text for the heights from which Satan fell is Hebrew word number 1116 in the Strong's Hebrew Dictionary, and it is pronounced Bama. Bama is most commonly used to refer to a high sacred place, as well as to the heights of the heavens or clouds. So in Jesus' prophecy of Luke chapter 10, verse 18, if spoken by a Jewish rabbi in Hebrew, influenced by the poetry of Isaiah, he would use, in one form or another, depending upon the exact wording and context, the words that come from the root forms of these two Hebrew words, barak and bama, to describe Satan falling like lightning from on high. Hebrew for lightning is barak, and Hebrew for the heights or the high places is bama. This fact is indisputable. So is Jesus actually giving us a clue as to who the future Antichrist might be? Many believe so. It is possible that it is merely a strange coincidence. Yet it cannot be denied. If Hebrew words were used to describe Jesus' statement about Satan falling or coming to earth, perhaps as a man in the form of the Antichrist, the Hebrew words barak and bama would be used.
Okay, was that creepy or what?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Bob, that was creepy. I've got Bob Bierman, Edward Zoll, and Doc Burkhart here in the studio. For any of you three guys, is this the first time you've heard it?
That was the first time I'd heard it.
Is it, Edward?
Yeah.
Second time.
Second time for you?
It's been a
First
while.
time for me.
Okay, so 2 out of 3 here. This is the first time you've heard it.
And I ran to my Strong's Concordance to pull up the numbers to make sure for it. So, yes, he's right.
Okay, for you guys for Doc and Edward, this is the first time you heard it. And I've played this many times on the program over the years, going back to 2009. What were you feeling and sensing and thinking as you listened to this?
My first response was, how evident is this out in the open? That you haven't heard this before. I mean, everybody should know this.
Hiding in plain sight.
Right. So,
What about you, Edward?
I think if this is true, it's an example again of, how knowledge has been lost over the years. We talk about back then, if they would have said this, Barack Obama, as describing Satan falling from heaven and the Antichrist, that did not get passed forward to our generation now to know when we saw, Barack Hussein Obama come out, Senator Obama, and run for president. There was no alarm flags among the Christian community because it's just lost knowledge to us.
But as you guys were listening to this, what were you thinking? As Christians, what were you thinking?
I have felt from day one, and I'm not trying to be mean-spirited, but he has carried what I think is the spirit of Antichrist with him since the day he took office. It just shows.
If he is not the Antichrist, he definitely got a spirit of Antichrist on him.
Absolutely.
The guy is evil. He's wicked. He's creepy.
I think anybody that in his days in the Senate, even in the state Senate, that would vote to make partial birth abortion legal or actually kill babies that are accidentally born in abortion to allow murder after the fact, which he voted for without thinking twice about it.
Look at the magnitude of the evil and wickedness he has brought into the United States and indeed the world, particularly the assault on biblical morality.
Absolutely.
The introduction of homosexual marriage, the flaunting of transvestites, and just the most debased, debauchery you could think of. These are the people he's brought into the White House and then shunned God-fearing men and women. Christian people.
Won't see him.
And then plus his foreign policy has unleashed utter destruction on the Christian church in the Middle East.
well, I'll take it one step further. The name Hussein in Arabic means beautiful one or enlightened one.
There's another clue.
Sounds like a reference in Isaiah to Lucifer saying, I'll be like the Most High. I am the enlightened one. I'm the beautiful one.
Look at all the little clues that have been along the way. For example, the movie about Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
After the movie was produced, the actor who portrayed Satan looked like Barack Obama.
Yes.
And the producers of the movie said, we didn't intend this to be this way. We're sorry. This was not our intention. And what I said was, I agree. I believe them. I believe God blinded their eyes so that we would see another glimpse of the heart of Barack Obama. And then, you had the flies sticking to him everywhere he went. I was calling him Beelzebub because he had flies sticking to his lip. And then during a Passover ceremony in the White House, he brought Jewish leaders in for a Passover meal, and they had a Passover play, and Barack Hussein Obama's role was Pharaoh. I mean,
I'd heard that story.
There's a lot of stories like this over 7 years. It's like, how many clues do we need that the man is evil? He's wicked.
And I think in so many ways, he kind of cast a spell on people. I've never seen a politician that gets some of the reactions he's had from his base of this utter worship, even 10 times more than Bill Clinton.
Especially, Bob, in the beginning years. Remember how when he was running in the first years of his presidency, people were feigning when he walked in the room. They were referring to him as the Messiah. He was godlike. I mean, they literally were worshiping Obama.
Exactly.
Which that was creepy beyond anything I've ever seen. I've never in my life have I seen a politician worshipped as a god.
Literally,
Right.
songs of worship written to him that they had children in school singing to him.
That's right. Has the church totally missed all the signs, all the clues about this man's intention?
Is
Because
that a
they
rhetorical
Yes.
question there?
They don't want
What
to
do
know.
you think, Doc?
They've obviously missed it. So even if you absent the meaning of the name, just the policies alone, they've missed it. The church is asleep at the wheel.
Now, by the way, we have an article on TrueNews.com about Barack Obama allegedly seeking the Secretary General position of the United Nations. So go to TrueNews.com and read that article. There's Edward, is there a video that goes with it?
There is.
There
Yes.
is a video? Okay,
Yes.
so there's a video that goes with it. And get that video and that article plastered everywhere online this weekend. Share it with all your friends and help us promote that article that Barack Hussein Obama allegedly is planning to run for Secretary General of the United Nations.
Can he leave now and go tomorrow?
Bob, will that be even worse?
Well,
Think
we can-
about it.
well,
I
we
mean,
can always
we're
leave.
going to share the pain with the rest of the world.
Unless we get out of the UN and turn the UN building into elderly folk housing.
Well, the drawback to that is Joe Biden. So that would be the drawback.
That's true, but okay, let's talk about this. I mean, we're talking about Obama as a potential antichrist or as an antichrist spirit, and now we're talking about him wanting to be the Secretary General of the United Nations.
It makes sense. To him, it's an advancement. He's going up the ladder. To
If
him.
he is an antichrist, if he is the antichrist, would he not want to be Secretary General of the UN?
Well, I find it interesting. Bill Clinton, that was his lifetime goal, was to be Secretary General of the UN. I mean, that was something he stated not only in his memoirs, but he stated that publicly. And when I heard this story pop up today, it just thought he just has to outdo the Clintons now.
That's right.
So
But we could have Hillary Clinton in the White House and Barack Obama in the UN. How can I get a spaceship to Mars? How can I get out of here?
That
This
is a
isn't
horrible thought.
Where do you go?
where do you go? That's the question.
Obama running the world?
And Hillary ruining the nation.
Wow, this is like a horror movie. It really is. I mean, if this comes to pass, realistically, let's think this out. Hillary Clinton in the White House, Barack Obama in the seat of the UN Secretary General.
Then anything that the UN Secretary General does, is going to have the full backing of the U.S. military, the U.S. economy, everything.
And is Obama going to rule the UN like he has run the White House by executive order?
I'm sure he would.
Is he simply going to sign global decrees?
And dare the council to go against him. Just like he's doing with the Congress and the Senate and the courts.
I can't see Vladimir Putin allowing Barack Obama to become the UN Secretary General.
Maybe that's why he declared the U.S. to be a direct threat to their security. And their
Yes, we declared NATO
NATO.
to be a direct threat to Russia's security, which is a big deal. That happened last week, Edward, I think.
Yeah.
It's a really big deal. Because Russia now has put down in their defense documents that their number one threat is NATO.
Yeah, that's right. And that is also on our website today as well, that article and that video related to that very topic about Vladimir Putin's comments about NATO.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that up on the website as well.
A lot of stuff happening today,
Yes.
in addition to Obama wanting to run the world. And you can go to TrueNews.com and see all these articles. We're starting to produce a lot of our own original content now,
Yes.
both written and video. And we are moving forward in building our video production center, which hopefully we will also have that up and running this spring. And so there will be a new enlarged version of True News.
Right.